How is everybody doing today? Johnny, Bozo in the chat already. Hope y'all are doing well. Today, we're back for the second straight day on stream. Yesterday, we had pretty much a de facto playoff game with our Browns. Wasn't officially playoffs. Now we've got an official playoff situation here. It is Vancouver versus Golden State in round 2 in the NBA playoffs. Warriors about to get cooked. I agree. The reason that we're doing this on stream is because I see this series as one that's going to be very difficult for Golden State, and so I figured I'd save myself a bunch of time in editing and watch this live with you all. And I do have plans to talk about that a little bit more down the road in this stream. My plan for today is to at least hopefully get through games 1 through 3 today. And if we're up 3-0, we might even head into game 4. Hopefully Graham is back. Graham is not going to be back for this series. Still 2 to 4 weeks. Daniel, Barry, highlights. How's it going? So he's probably not set to return until conference finals, should we make it. And I don't even know if he'd be ready at the start of the conference finals. Before we get into game 1, I did want to go ahead and take a look at what the stats were for round 1, because I forgot to do that at the very end of the round 1 episode, just so you guys can get a little bit of a view of just who performed well and who didn't. Saramago in round 1 averaged 32.5 points a game, 12 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2 blocks, 1.2 steals. Shot just 41.5% from the field on 23.5 shots and 34% from deep. Albert Ellis went for 24 and 7 on 44.5% from the field and 48.5% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. So he actually did pretty well. He's really struggled against Ben Simmons at times, but other than that, I think Albert Ellis actually played pretty well in that series. McKnight, 14.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 41.5% from the field, and just under 41% from 3 on 5.5 attempts per game. Garrett did struggle. He had some good moments for sure, but as a whole, he did struggle. 32% from the field and 27% from deep on the most attempts from deep on the squad. You can't be taking more threes than Ellis and Saramago when you're only making 27% of them. That's not going to fly. So he's got to start making some more. He did help out a lot on the board, 6.5. McKnight versus Ellis 1v1. I don't think I think somebody told me how to do it, but I totally forgot. I'm being honest. So I don't know how to even do that. I think Ellis would win, but I'm not sure. Because McKnight is a very good defender. Clayton Rodman, 11.5 points per game, 6.6 rebounds. I mean, look at all these rebounds. 35% from the field's not great. Shot pretty much the same from deep. Leonard Miller was really good. 53% from the field, 43% from deep. Max Christie, pretty much 40% from both. Need him to be better on his twos, but he was good from deep. Mago would cook anybody 1v1. Yeah, but I don't think McKnight thrives in a 1v1 situation. I think Ellis is much is a much better shot creator. Victor Jackson struggled a lot as well, so there is a genuine question about who should start at center for us. I had Victor Jackson start at center for us last series, but Hardy played better. Hardy did play better. I mean, he shot 50% from three, but I think that was on 2 attempts. He was probably 1 of 2 on the series. But 56.5% from the field compared to 35. He also fouled a bunch more, which is kind of interesting. Victor Jackson was a better rebounder and a better assist man. So maybe you keep it as it is. If for some reason we're struggling against the Warriors, that could be something that we switch up. But I think the conversation of Hardy versus Victor Jackson long term is actually kind of interesting. I just assumed it would be Victor Jackson, but I actually like Hardy's skill set more, I think. Victor Jackson just has a lot more badges. We have another year of team control before we have to pay him like unrestricted free agent money, which I don't know if either of them will be asking for that much, but both Ellis is on and off. It definitely is more on and off, and we just gotta hope that he doesn't get cold for an extended stretch. Usually, I feel like doesn't go more than maybe 1 or 2 games in a row with struggling. Again, it was really just Ben Simmons. When he was guarded by anybody else, Ellis was doing great last series. So if I could kind of describe, because I know I ended up skipping around a lot. That's the benefit of today's stream, is you guys are going to see everything. You're not just going to see the makes and the blocks and the steals. You're going to see all the gameplay. You're going to be able to see kind of the bad plays that are made too. That's the one downside of the way I've been doing the playoffs this year and last year in this series, just because you don't get to see the struggles as much. And so I'm kind of relying on the box scores to try to tell you that story, which isn't perfect. And I think I need to change the way I do the playoffs going forward, but that's a conversation I want to have after game 1. At this point, I want to get into this series. Now, one thing I'll be trying out here with the Golden State Warriors, mostly because I don't think this is going to be a super competitive series, but I know Stumpy is a guy who I talk about a lot. A lot of the things that I do in this type of series, I've kind of gotten from him. And one thing he's done this year is he doesn't manually game plan for the playoff matchups that he does. And because he feels it creates an unfair advantage where the other team doesn't get to game plan against you. Obviously, I've taken the opposite approach, where rather than game planning for neither, I game plan for both. But obviously I'm a little biased. I do try my best to create game plans to stop Vancouver, but maybe doing it in a way where I don't game plan for either is the better option. So we're going to experiment with that here in the Golden State Warriors series. Partially, if I'm being 100% honest, is because I don't know if the Warriors have even a good game plan against us. So I don't want to be held liable for creating a bad game plan, because I just don't know if there is one. So let's go ahead and take a look at this team. Like, this is the team we're facing in round 2. Now, they are stronger when Pods is healthy. But as it sits right now, their best player is Jonathan Kuminga at 84 overall. Now, their strength is that they have 11 players right now, and 12 when they're fully healthy, that are 79 plus overall. So they are very deep. Every single player that plays for them, up to a possible 12-man rotation again when they're fully healthy, is like borderline starter caliber of player. They don't play duds off their bench at all. But they don't have anything that even, I think, closely resembles a star. I mean, Kyra Lewis starting at point guard. I mean, they have 380 overall point guards. Jaden Ivey is probably going to be their lead shot creator, I would guess, in this series. Small forward, they are thin, but like their fourth power forward is 79 overall. And so just a kind of a weird constructed roster. They're certainly a team that if there's a team next year that needs depth and they're willing to maybe trade like a mid-80s overall player for a couple of 79 to 81s, the Warriors will probably be the team that I look at to make that trade, because they got some crazy depth at point guard and power forward at the very least. And who knows, a lot of these guys could leave in free agency this year, so this might not even apply to them next year. I think we could see a blowout coming our way, but only time will tell. It is time to get this series underway. They were showing pods here for a second. I thought he might be playing, but he is not. It'll be Jordan Poole, Jaden Ivey, Jonathan Kuminga, Ralph Terry, and Trace Jackson Davis for Golden State, going against Albert Ellis, Easy A, Cameron McKnight, Rudolph Garrett, Ayrton Saramago, and Victor Jackson. Yeah, Stumpy's Aztec series. I will admit, I haven't watched as much as I usually do of him this season because of his custom draft classes that he's doing. I think they're way too strong, and it's kind of made me not watch as much, but I still tune in when I can because I think he does great 2K content. But let's get this round 2 matchup underway. This part's always weird without the dialogue because I have the music turned off and I have the commentary turned off, so it's just a bunch of cutscenes. Obviously, when I turn this into an episode, I turn these cutscenes into I put music behind them so they're better, and I mash them all up. But the Golden State Warriors, a surprise second round team, looking to make a big time upset on the road. Their best player injured. Let me turn this music off real quick. And you guys get to see an uncut version. Have I ever streamed gameplay on this series? That wasn't the Summer League? I don't think I have. So this will be like the first meaningful basketball game that we'll watch on stream. Gotta do the dishes. I don't know why, but dishes is one of the house chores I absolutely hate. I think it's because of the way it makes my hands smell at the end. One sec. After this play, I'll just pause it right here real quick because I have to quickly raise this a little bit so that I'm not blocking the scoreboard. And there we go. A little bit too high. Rudolph Garrett gets the game. And the series started with a triple. I get this situated about as out of the way as I can without blocking the scoreboard. There we go. Kuminga in the corner. No good, but a solid look to start. Jackson in transition will head to the free throw line. That's another thing I don't show. Is obviously all the free throws. I mean, Saramago gets so many free throw attempts. I hope I can showcase it in this live stream. Because again, I don't show it as much on the edited videos, but this dude is basically Harden / Embiid. Always living at the free throw line, which I do not mind at all. Is how he's so consistently getting 40 plus points every time we watch, it seems like. Unless he's playing Alexander Sarr, at least. No good from Ivy. Ellis with it, top of the key, setting up McKnight, but Ivy did a good job fighting through the screen. Instead, it'll be Mago pulling for 3 and missing. Do every chore around the house. Well, so do I. But there are certainly some that I don't mind doing, and the others that I wait until it's absolutely necessary to do because I hate them. And this is definitely one of them. Mago open for 3, 0 for 2 to start this game from deep. Pick and roll. Ivy downhill. Feeds Kuminga and Trace Jackson Davis with a miss. They get the rebound, but another one off. A slow start offensively for both teams, it seems. Getting some solid shots, but just a lot of misses. Mago, another miss. And another. What is going on with Ayrton Saramago to start this game? Is all of a sudden Ralph Terry going to be somebody that can stop Saramago? Albert Ellis on the boards. Looks like we're going to set up Garrett for a 3 here. And it's going to be a Warriors foul trying to fight through the screen. Pull up from the elbow for Mago, and finally he gets one to go. Kuminga has it in the corner. Setting up Ralph Terry. He's defended by Mago. That one's tipped. Ralph Terry gets it back and puts it in. McKnight gets it on the cutter play and has a clean lane to the basket for 2. That'll force the first timeout here, taken by Golden State. Jordan Poole to TJD? I think I'm just gonna have to call him TJD. Because that's going to save me a lot of time whenever I announce his name. First free throw up and in. Second one falls as well. 9-7. Garrett with it, finds Easy A. He blows by Jordan Poole and draws the whistle on the drive. Couple of free throws upcoming for Easy A. Both teams doing a decent job getting to the line here to start this game out. Pick and roll. To Jordan Poole, catch and shoots. Misfires. Ellis looking to set up McKnight. That's a nice pass. The finish is there. Second time we've been able to get that play rolling for Green Light McKnight. Poole with it. He pulls up for 3. This guy not afraid to shoot. He's liable to have an explosive game at one point in this series, perhaps, but he also just might be putting up bricks for the entirety of round 2. You never know with Jordan Poole. Ellis gets a double screen. Attacks downhill. Tries to draw the foul, but no whistle. Thought he probably could have had an easy pull-up 3 there. Nice to attack the basket instead, which I don't mind. Green Light McKnight with the stuff. Mago taking it the other way, and he gives it right back to Golden State. Poole pulls up and drills it. A little bit of a messy sequence there. Ends with a Golden State basket. Now that'll be Vancouver's first time out. Clayton Rodman checks into the game. We should also have Max Christie. There he is. I don't know what this play is, but nothing's happening. There we go. We finally get a double screen here for McKnight. He has a look at three and rattles it in. Excellent start for McKnight in this game. 7 points on the board already. Ivy pick and roll. Finds Jackson Davis, and layup is good. One thing I have to say that I feel like this team could still improve on, if we want Clayton Rodman to kind of be the six-man bucket getter off the bench, as he, right on cue, gets a bucket here. His problem is he's a really weak defender. He only has C+ perimeter defense, which is, like, 2K's generous with their grades. It's really, like, I think Trae Young has a C+, which I wouldn't call Trae Young a C+ defender. And so he's very bad. And so if we're going to make that work, which I don't think it's impossible to make that work, but I think to make it work, you need a pretty good defensive center on the court. And the problem with Victor Jackson, who's currently our backup 5, you know, when we're fully healthy, is that's probably Victor Jackson's weakest point, is his interior defense. And so I think the combination of Rodman and Jackson is a little bit weak defensively. And so if we're looking to make some changes, I think maybe a backup 5 that's a bit of a better defender could be something I look at. That's a nice drive there by Rodman. How did the Dubs get looked back? I'm not sure I understand what that's referring to. Victor Jackson into Mago for the slam. Oh, get pullback? Yeah. Yeah, I did see that. That's kind of funny. I mean, that was Poole's best. When he was coming off the bench for Golden State, was when he was at his best. No problem at all. Exaggerated history / rickety bridge. Ivy, that's good for 3. And Golden State certainly keeping things interesting here in the first. Loved him. I mean, he earned a $30 million per year contract, which means he was balling to start his career. 2 of 7 to start for Maga. Austin Reeves, still in California, but no longer with LA at this point. Golden State will heave up a 3 at the end of the shot clock, and it goes. We are tied, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes left in the first. It's because Saramago's been pretty cold. Oh, as I say that, he has got a couple of slams. Nothing much moved. A lot of boxes, not enough basketball. I get that. I moved back in September of last year, and there's still a room in my house that has unpacked boxes. Mago. Inside, nearly lost it. Yeah, Draymond, I could see. I mean, Clayton Rodman's out here balling to start this first quarter. Draymond Green's definitely the type of guy that's going to butt heads with a lot of different personalities. Kuminga in the post will draw the foul. You know that's going to get a foul call before he hardly even starts the animation. And it's such a bad animation too. I mean, if you're going to have a predictable foul call animation, can we have it better than that? I mean, what a funky animation. I've seen that more than 100 times at this point in this Vancouver series. How's it going, Lemon? Mago finds McKnight off the offensive rebounds. And a second look at 3 counts. McKnight's played really well. Rodman's played really well here for us in the first quarter, and we're starting to build a lead. Stolen away by Hardy. Rodman hands it off to Mago. Feel you. History, I mean, I'm a Jazz fan, so at least the Jazz were always going to suck. The Suns underperforming is unfortunate because, of course, they have the top-end talent. Williams with it. Inside to Clowney. Pick and roll works to perfection for Golden State. Yeah, the Jazz, the Jazz, we're rooting for losses at this point in the rebuild. Hardy sticking with Lewis, but fouled him. Call you Ricky? Okay, that's good to know. Lewis hits both free throws. Down to 25 seconds here in the first quarter. Rodman just dribbling out the shot clock. Hopefully we can get one more Mago shot. It looks like this is what we're going to do. We're going to feed him inside right here. Fade away. Just off the mark for Mago. Alan King pulls up and misses on that one. That was fan. Hard to watch this and root against them. Just think about it this way. This iteration of the Warriors doesn't have very many actual original Warriors left on them. There's still guys. Trace Jackson Davis, Jonathan Kuminga. Jordan Poole's back on the Warriors in this instance. But you know, the mainstays are all gone at this point. That jumper looks so bad. The Alan King one. 2K definitely did a better job in 2K25 of nixing a lot of the horrible jumpers. Like I remember in my 2K24 franchise, I had to change so many players' jump shots. They like said that they fixed all the jumpers and made all the horrible ones go away. Which for the most part, I think the jumpers are a lot better in this game, but there's still a couple of bad ones to sneak through. But there's no like egregious ones. Victor Jackson's is so ugly on our squad. The problem with this Victor Jackson, in the one game that I watched for his clips, he never took a jumper. So I never got to see it, or else I don't know if I would have drafted him. Because typically people with super funky jumpers, I just don't draft them. Root for staff, loved him since Davidson. Nice. One of the OG Curry fans. Rudolph Garrett. Nice pick and roll. Bounce pass inside to Leonard Miller. I have just called them OKC. Golden State was going on a little bit of a run, so that was a nice, well-needed basket. He went back to the Warriors because Green retired? Probably. He was just waiting for Green to leave. Williams in the corner. No good. Rudolph. To Max Christie. Easy A. Got two men setting screen for him. Can go either way. Pulls up for the mid-range. Smooth. Easy A. Temporarily lost that nickname, but earned it back this season after being much improved. One of our better players in round one, efficiency-wise. I think only like Leonard Miller was more efficient than Easy A. That's a nice move by Lewis. Monte Ellis, man. It's a good shout out. He was unstoppable in 2K. So annoying to go against in my career. Foul there on the pick and roll. Yeah, the Canada doesn't have the baddies. I don't know much about what the Vancouver scene's like, I gotta be honest. Hardy splits at the line. Ralph Terry with it, and that'll be an illegal screen. The ball comes right back to the Vancouver Blizzard. The biggest improvement by far for this team is in every season prior to this one, the non-Saramago minutes were sometimes just so hard to watch. But I think Albert Ellis and Rudolph Garrett, they play well together in their lineups as being the two shot creators. I would just like be counting down the minutes like, oh, when is Saramago gonna get back on the court, please? I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like all 48 minutes we got some hoopers on the court this year, which gives me hope for us going pretty deep in the playoffs. Lived in Vancouver and can confirm there are no baddies, huh? All right. I mean, gonna have to trust him on that one. Yeah, it's definitely a lot better. I'm not pressured to maybe play Mago even more to reduce the minutes he's off the court. I feel like gives everybody a time to shine, and we can kind of see everybody's skill set. Ellis for three. He's gotten going here. The baddies hate the Colts. That makes sense. It's got to be those consistent climates, the Floridas and the Californias, you know, the coast, because that's when they can go show off on the beach. You can't go out in your bikini in Vancouver. That's just not going to work out for you. Patrick Williams forced to heave up a late shot clock. Pool's been playing decent lately. I must admit that I do not watch Wizards basketball. They have 6 wins this year, which I'm actually really annoyed at as a Jazz fan, because we have no chance of catching them probably for the #1 lottery odds. They've been so bad this year. Williams just powers through Albert Ellis. Oh, the Hornets had a chance to be good because Brandon Miller showed some pretty good stuff in his rookie year. Nice drive by Ellis. What I think has been the difference in Ellis's game is he just is so much more confident in his moves. It felt like he was, and he'll still kind of dance around at times, which isn't bad. He's trying to set somebody up, but he seemed a little bit more focused on the in-between game, not really sure kind of what he was going to do. But now when he goes to the rim, he gets all the way to the rim. And that allows him to use kind of this variety of finishing moves that he's always had. He just wasn't as good at getting to the rim in previous seasons. Garrett pumps and finds Hardy, but that did not fool TJD. Mullen Street ball moves are clean. Yeah, he definitely provides some entertainment, which, I mean, for the Hornets, unfortunately, that's kind of been all they've been able to enjoy as of late. Even in like the Kemba Walker era, they were always just kind of in the middle. Hornets haven't really been good in so long. Giannis is amazing. Almost as amazing as Ayrton Saramago. Trace Jackson Davis can block shots and catch passes. Yeah, I watched a lot of Trace Jackson Davis in college because I really like Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's not been good to start his career in LA by any means. Kyra Williams gets a screen. His unique Euro to dunk. Yeah, that's... His Euro dunk is... It's so funny. It's so funny how he makes something that's so difficult look routine. Oh my goodness. Ellis. He's been hooping in the second quarter, but that's always going to be a part of Ellis's game. Warriors are bringing this back in a little bit. Just going to be a one-score game here, depending on if he hits one or two. Whether it'll be a 2 or 3 point game. 1 for 2 for Jackson Davis. Been watching Kentucky play lately because it's all they show around here. Actually, not bad. I gotta be honest, I can't watch college basketball that much, and I know I said I just watched a bunch of Trace Jackson Davis. That was strictly for like draft purposes, though. That's the only way I can watch college basketball. U of A fan. Okay. Currently atop the Big 12. See, like I didn't even know that. I don't follow college basketball at all. I know Cooper Flagg's at Duke, and I've seen some highlights because he's projected #1 overall. Yeah, you can't watch everything. You got to kind of prioritize. For me, NFL always comes one. I don't miss. Whenever NFL's on, I'm typically at least have it on in the background, unless it's the Eagles game, then I'm watching it fully. But Ivy for 3, and it's a 1 point ball game. 4:20 in the second quarter, and Ellis is blocked again. Golden State can now take the lead. Poole finds Kuminga. He slams it in. Golden State leads the Vancouver Blizzard here, much to my surprise. We are going to get Saramago back onto the court here. How are you, an Eagles and a Jazz fan? It's random. It is random. So when I was like a younger kid, I was not a sports fan at all. I did not like sports. I was very much like the action figures and like Batman and Ninja Turtles and all that stuff. No sports for me, please. But my dad was a sports guy, and so he tried to get me into sports by buying an NFL video game, NFL Blitz. And the Eagles were just really good in that game, and so I used them a bunch. And then one day there was nothing on TV, and there was an Eagles-Giants game on, and the Eagles won, and I was like, that was kind of fun. That was back in like 2005, and I've been an Eagles fan ever since. And that's what kind of got me into sports. And then I live in Utah, so I'm a Jazz fan. Yeah, Utah doesn't have an NFL team, so like it's either like Broncos, but Broncos are so far away. The Raiders are kind of close now, I guess, that they moved to Vegas, but still not all that close. It's still like a... Oh my! Jonathan Kuminga! So... like everybody's favorite NFL team in Utah is like all spread all over the place. There are a decent amount of Broncos and Cowboys fans though. Ellis, shake and bake for 3. Puts Vancouver back up on top. That's rough. Not having a football team anywhere near. I've been able to go to 2 football games, 2 Eagles football games still. Went to one in Arizona way back when I was in high school. And then I went to the Rams game this year when Saquon went for 300 yards all purpose. I was at that game. Oh, it was so beautiful. And now they play the Rams again on Sunday. Bulls found some baddies. There's got to be 1 or 2 hanging around. Maybe they came up from California to watch the team play. I mean, if I was the Warriors and I had Jordan Poole, I'd probably hire some baddies to come sit courtside. I mean, why not? You're a Giants fan? I feel for you. Mago, 4-3, and now we're just trading the lead. I love Saquon Barkley, man. I never thought Howie would pay a running back, but boy, am I glad he did. This has been a really competitive game here in the second quarter. Jeez. Oh, no. Jaden Ivey writhing in pain on the courts. They're already down pods. What did Lyman lie about? There not being any baddies.
Number 18, Kyra Lewis.
Fade away. No good for Mago. He hasn't been... he hasn't quite had the touch on these fadeaway jumpers here in the first half. Lewis. Too strong. Even virtual injuries. Exactly. At the very least, you know that nobody's actually hurt, but you always want to face a team at full strength. And seeing even a virtual person writhing in pain is... Mago, there we go as the shot clock expires. Don't be silly, NFL, pay elite backs. I mean, this has been the year of elite backs for sure. I mean, at college football, you had Ashton Genty going absolutely buck wild. And then both Henry and Barkley and Josh Jacobs as well. All 3 of those guys on new teams going absolutely crazy and winning situations. That's the thing with running backs is, like, even though Derrick Henry's done great for the Ravens, I think it was... You can excuse the Titans for letting him go because I don't think Derrick Henry's going to have this kind of year with Tennessee. So we've got a really close game here in game one, heading into the half. Did not see this coming. I honestly expected us to be leading by double digits going into the break. Why is he taking that shot? Wasn't it because the time was winding down? Or am I? Mago's the GOAT, but Greenlight is your favorite. Yeah, I definitely know Bozo's a Greenlight McKnight fan. He's always showing the support in the comments. McKnight's awesome. In the role that in the role that we ask him to do, he's elite at it. He's not the most like do-it-all player, but he has a skill set and he's very, very good at it. And he's even expanded that skill set since he was a rookie for sure. I still think there's a lot of times where we'll just ask him to create something out of nothing. And that's just kind of setting him up for fail. We shouldn't be putting him in that situation at all in the first place. But when we do, it can get kind of ugly sometimes. All right. Been glazing McKnight like crazy. I know. I think you called him like prime Steph Curry in the comments of the last episode. So Albert Ellis leads into scoring at halftime, 4 of 8. He got blocked twice, but hey, we're not going to talk about that. 4 of 4 from the line. Mago actually had 0 free throw attempts. I literally said like 10 minutes ago that, or maybe more than that, but Mago's been like living at the free throw line. He has 0. McKnight did not miss. 3 of 4 for Rodman. It was really good. I mean, like you guys saw, he shot 35% in the first round. Just 1 of 5 for Garrett. He needs to get going. He does have 3 of 4 from the line, though. Jackson 0 of 1. Leonard Miller 1 of 3. Am I the only one who thinks Ellis plays a little bit like Donovan Mitchell? Man, I love Donovan Mitchell, man. Jonathan Kuminga 4 of 6. He was good. Clowney 4 of 4. Okay. Respect. 3 of 7 for Poole. Might have seen a baddie or two. We cannot confirm. And there you have it. These are the halftime stats. Kyrie doesn't get blocked much. Yeah, if I had to... I mean, when I drafted Albert Ellis, I had Kyrie that in mind, and I see it a lot in his game now that he's become a more prolific finisher. Kyrie doesn't get blocked in real life. I think he'd get blocked. Like, if we don't play Kyrie a ton, but I think he gets blocked in 2K. You know what I mean? I bet you miss Missile. Hey, we don't got to talk about me missing Donovan Mitchell, all right? Of course I miss Donovan Mitchell, man. Like, the years when it was going good for Utah, the last year was kind of getting toxic. Like, you could tell these guys needed to get away from each other. But, like, Donovan's rookie year and his second year when we were kind of outperforming expectations, it was so fun. Excellent transition play there. But yes, I very much so miss Mitchell. Keontae George ain't doing it for me like Donovan Mitchell was. Ralph Cherry, no good from deep. Oh, what? I don't even know what I just looked at. I got to see that again because I legitimately, I was kind of half looking at chat and I have no idea what just happened. Okay, outlet to Mago. Well, yeah, he got bumped by Jackson Davis, I think, a little bit. Oh, that's hilarious. All I saw was like Victor Jackson flailing around as the ball went out of bounds. That was funny. Kyra Lewis. Down to Jackson Davis. Now to Poole. Screening coming. Forced to put up a contested 3. Good defense by Vancouver. You missed Steve Nash? Oh, Steve Nash. My best friend in high school, his favorite player was Steve Nash. And I like whenever, so I don't much anymore, but I used to play Call of Duty, and sometimes I just rack up a bunch of assists. Whenever I did, I'd call it the Steve Nash. And I'm like, oh, I only got 3 or 4 kills, but look at those 8 assists. Call me Steve Nash. Mago wide open for 3. That's almost a guaranteed bucket right there. Jordan Poole to Kuminga. Rudolph Garrett, some nice defense. The Gobert trade was amazing. Do you like your GM for the Jazz? Ainge gets his money worth in his trades. I definitely like what Ainge does with trades. Like, he's not somebody that's gonna make a trade that he doesn't genuinely think he is gonna win, you know? Like, I remember, that's the summer of that they traded away Gobert and Mitchell. All you heard from New York fans, at least all I heard as a Jazz fan, New York fans, was like, oh, you have to give it to it. We're New York, you're Utah, blah, 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 blah. You just have to give us this terrible package because Mitchell wants to come to New York. It was so annoying. And then Ainge said, guess what? No. We're going to trade him to Cleveland. And you know what? It worked out for Cleveland because he re-signed. But I was kind of hoping he wouldn't re-sign just because it would make those Cleveland picks look better. But Vancouver now up to an 11-point lead here. I do like the Gobert trade's looking pretty good. I mean, it looked great at the time. I did not think we'd get that many first-round picks for Gobert. Last season, it was looking like Minnesota had something going on, but they're not the same this year. I don't think that trade with New York is really working out for them. I hope the Jazz are good soon. I don't think it's very highly likely. That was a shot. That was a possession there. The Warriors didn't really do much to get a good shot. I almost called the Warriors OKC early on, and then I almost called them the Grizzlies there. I don't know what's going on with my brain right now. McKnight, oh my goodness, 2 guys almost shot and then ended up passing it. Now McKnight has it. Shot clock winding down. He'll just shoot over the top of Poole. I mean, why not? He's got the massive size advantage. I think Gobert is trash. I think Gobert, he's almost like how we talk about McKnight, where he's a star in his role. I think Gobert's like that, but even more limited at the things he's not a star at. And the problem is, he's also getting older, so he's not as good as he was at his height. But the problem is, the type of team that can maximize Rudy Gobert is a very, very specific team. And Rudy Gobert is just not a good enough player to build around, so you're never going to have probably that perfect team around him. Yeah, the cap for Randall, I think it was more for DiVincenzo. They wanted another big-time shooter. And then they were just going to take a flyer and see if... Because Randall's always put up stats. It's just... He's kind of like an old-school player in some ways. I was surprised by that trade. They really needed DiVincenzo to be, like, even better than he was in New York for that to work out, though. Timberwolves are so fun last year. If you liked good defensive basketball, they were definitely fun. They were so good defensively. And then when Anthony Edwards was on, then yes, they were fun. But when Anthony Edwards was only having like an average night or an off night, they were a rough watch offensively. Robin's been playing well. He's had a couple of off the dribble threes and a couple of really good drives. DiVincenzo been subpar. Yeah, I think the Timberwolves were hoping for a different DiVincenzo when they made that trade. That's Christie with a 3, and now we're starting to build a lead here in the third. And does have a bag, and when he's feeling it, he's really fun to watch. He's definitely kind of that, you know, that driver, that mid-range. He's got like the strength to kind of post people up, and he's a really fun watch when he's feeling it. Sports fandom is paying most of the time, unless you like one of like the biggest cities who always get all the free agents and stuff like that. That's why I love the NFL. It feels like, yeah, the big markets still count in the NFL, but not nearly as much as in a league like the NBA or the MLB. Ralph Terry looks like a dude. Yeah. I try, like, with the guys that are at the top of the class, if they look really obviously generated and kind of dumb looking, I'll update their looks. But I don't really update looks of players outside of, like, the top 2 tiers of a draft. And so you guys still generate some really funky looking dudes. Christie. Catch and shoot. Yeah, Cat's also playing well for sure. I think he's glad not to have Gobert next to him. I was always an interesting fit. Christie, no good on this one. Next, you're going to make postseason. I mean, they were really feisty in the postseason last year, but they just ran out of bodies. Jalen Brunson's just been that good. It's funny, I feel like everybody thought Jalen Brunson was good, but then he had that playoff series against the Jazz where he looked like a superstar right before he hit free agency. Job by Kuminga. And I was skeptical of it, I'll be honest, just because I feel like almost every point guard during that era of the Jazz could look like a superstar against them. But hey, Brunson proved that it was legit. You're a Pelicans fan? That's gotta be tough dealing with the health of Zion. To have a #1 pick that looks so dominant at times, but the health is such an issue. That's because it's really hard, because you don't want to tank because you have a guy that can be dominant when he plays, but he never plays, so then it's hard to be good. That's just a really tough. I would hate to have like a team like that where health plays so much of a role. I just want to know if I'm good or bad, man. That's all. Just one of them. What is this from Ellis? Almost made it. I think maybe Dallas was maybe like me and thought that the Jazz made Brunson look better than he was. And so they're like, because before that, I mean, Brunson was good. But he turned it up to another level in the playoffs that year. Not having your own picks is really sad too. That was why in this series I gave them their picks back when they traded with the Rockets. Ultimately, I think that trade ended up working out for both sides. I wonder if we see some sort of iteration. I don't think the full trade that I made would happen in real life. But yeah, you do have to wonder, because the Suns have literally no incentive at all to break up their high-end players unless they're getting their own picks back. Yeah, Bronny's skill is definitely his defense. That's his most translatable skill at this time. I think he's a decent playmaker too, like in terms of just unselfishness. I'm not saying he has like a deep bag or anything, but yeah, he's the 55th pick, even despite the name value. So expectations are low. I think if he ends up being a long-term rotation player at all, that's going to be a win, because he's the 55th pick. You don't often get a rotation player that spot in the draft. Pick and roll. Lewis pulls up beyond the arc. Brick. Hate the Lakers. I hated the Lakers growing up because they'd always beat the Darren Williams and Boozer Jazz. Carlos Boozer Jazz. Oh my goodness. Because Kobe was just that good, man. Especially in the playoffs. Williams. To Williams in the corner, and that's a nice Williams to Williams connection. I feel like everybody who's not a Lakers fan hates the Lakers. Maybe there's a few that are, oh my goodness, Albert Ellis. He's been getting swatted here. Stolen away. Max Christie to Easy A. Will he get swatted again? No, he's gonna get stolen from this time though. A little bit of a rough patch here at the end of the third quarter for Ellis, in what's been a really good game from him pretty much the entire rest of the game. Their shooting guard was Ronnie Brewer. I love me some Ronnie Brewer, man. Karolinko. I loved Karolinko. D. Will, Boozer, Okur, Memo, the Trailer 3. That was a fun era of Jazz. Didn't do much, but we went to one conference finals. So that'll be a 13-point lead heading into the fourth quarter here of game number 1. I wouldn't say he's inconsistent. He just had a bad 2 minutes. He's been pretty consistently good in this game. Gonna instantly start with a McKnight 3. And Mago tries to clear up the glass, put up kind of a funky layup. No good. Williams, guarded by Ellis. That one's tipped away, but picked back up by the Warriors. Cobb, forced to jack something up at the shot clock expiration with a miss. Not a great pass there from Hardy, but McKnight able to track it down. Tough shot from Mago, no good. Yeah, Bozo, I'm not going to say he hates Ellis, but he definitely likes to point out when Ellis isn't doing well and when McKnight is doing well. I think it's part of Bozo's agenda that McKnight is actually the second best player on the team, not Ellis. So I often say that Ellis is the second best player on the team. I wanted Mays over Ellis. Well, I think part of the what your process was during the offseason is you wanted Esteban Gonzalez and Mays over Ellis. I think Mays could have been good for our team. I think he fit the 7 seconds or less system really well. I kind of hope the Spurs win. I hope the Spurs win because I'd like to see. I mean, we haven't really faced Victor Wembanyama in the playoffs yet, and we haven't faced Jackson Mays at all. Give me Max Christie. Max Christie, the most divisive player we have on the squad. Some requesting trades. I'm definitely a Max Christie stan. Also because, like, think of how unstoppable Saramago is whenever he's not facing Alexander Sarr, apparently. What are we going to do to defend Wemby? Like, Victor Jackson ain't defending Wemby. We're going to get absolutely cooked to death with Wemby. Chrissy, our 4th star. I mean, he's the 4th highest overall player right now. Mays didn't develop as much. Yeah, his ceiling was never. He'd have to hit his boom ceiling in order, I think, to get to the 90s based off what I remember. Didn't he have like? I think he had like B+ potential, but like a high boom ceiling. And I just don't think the Bulls did a good enough job. And players, even when they play well, don't always hit their boom ceiling. Victor might drop 50. Well, the thing is, I gave them Jaylen Brown too in this series. So if Vic's dropping 50 and they also have Jaylen Brown, that's what a drive there by Ellis using the pump fake to get open. So as much it's either Rockets or Spurs. I want to face both of them, honestly, because I want to see the Spurs in the playoffs. But I also want to rematch against Houston. Now, they're not the same because they made, I think, a really bad trade this year to trade away Amen Thompson. Both the OKC Thunder and the Rockets, the two teams I wanted to rematch, both made just bad trades, which is unfortunate this year. Yeah, I mean, Hardy would be the starter until Graham came back. I mean, I wish Graham would be back. Yeah, we definitely... But I'd almost just say have Saramago guard him, and we'll just have our center guard whoever's our power forward. I think it's Sohan. You have no idea what Hardy's defense is like? It's better than Jackson's. I believe it's B inside defense and C perimeter defense on Hardy. And I think... Oh, man. Look at that free throw. Victor Jackson's isn't very good. I think it's like C+ interior defense. I mean, that's one way to do it. Yeah, he's got the Jeremy Sohan free throw. I mean, that you have the underhand free throw from that guy in Memphis. They may have fixed the jumpers, but they're still giving players some kooky free throws, that's for sure. And if I was game planning for San Antonio, I'd be putting Wemby on Mago. Where's can't I assume that hang? Yeah, that's why I wanted to stream this. I wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed because I don't see the Warriors taking us past more than 5. They're putting up a fight, but at the end, I just don't think they have the horses. I mean, what a pass there by Andre Hardy. I mean, geez. They're fighting. And they made a heck of a first half. But I think at some point, we're just bound to pull away. We're going to go on a run. We have too much offensive talent. I don't think... Like, the Lakers Their defensive lineups were low-key actually really good. Like Ben Simmons is a great defender. Stan Hayes has A+ defense even as a rookie. Jamal Morris is a great defender. Alexander Sarr is a great defender. Anthony Davis, even at 36. They had a bunch of great defenders, which is what I think helped them keep things close. And even that, we won in 5. I thought we were going to lose game 4, was it? I think so. I thought we were going to lose that game. I mean, it's back to single digits. It's not over yet. They're fighting. There we go. McKnight rattles home a triple. So it seems like Greenland McKnight is a lot of people's favorite player. He's definitely the kind of guy where if he was on your team, he'd be a fan favorite player because he does the dirty work. He just hits open J's all day. It's definitely the kind of player you love to have on your team. You just have to have 2 really good shot creators around him, I think, to make him look good. Although, even in his rookie year, he was 21, 4, and 3. Yeah, Ben Simmons is he's one of the, like, there's always some players who you know are going to produce in a video game no matter what they're doing in real life. Ben Simmons is one of those guys. Oso is my favorite player on the Suns. I don't know why, but all I'm thinking of is Oso Odigizua, who's a Dallas Cowboy. Oso. I'll be honest, I've watched less basketball this year than I normally do just because the Jazz are so terrible. I'll go with Superman. I've really liked Garrett's rookie season. I kind of wish, like, we got Garrett in, like, year 2 of this franchise. Because I'd love to see him be asked to do more than he is on this team to see if he could handle it. Because, like, we watched that one game, was it the last episode of the regular season where Albert Ellis was out? And he was kind of showing some stuff because he was kind of the leader of the lineup when Maga was out rather than being kind of the second guy behind Ellis. He was showing me something. And so, yeah, I do wish he was kind of the guy that maybe we got in year 2 instead of Ellis. I mean, I love Ellis too. Just a fun little hypothetical. Kyra Lewis to Jordan Poole. Plays like a much taller version of Malik Monk. Yeah, Garrett, there's not really much he can't do on the court. The question is just how good is he going to become? Because I don't think his ceiling is very high. Like, it might be like he has literally one season of development. Oh, Mago, come on. I know, there are a couple of people that really wanted the duo to be Milos Novak and... Oh! There's no way he just did that. Oh my goodness. He just pulled up from Curry range and banked it in. Oh my gosh. Green Light McKnight. That was hilarious. I've never seen that. The question is, did he call it? That's the question. He does his job really well. He doesn't really need to get better. And that's why I loved him so much for our team, is because we were never going to ask him to be better than the 4th player on our team, which means he doesn't really need to have a high ceiling, right? Now, if he was in Ellis's shoes, and like I said previously, how I kind of wanted to maybe get him in year 2, that could potentially be a different story, right? Where we probably would have needed him to have a little bit higher of a ceiling. But for what we want from him specifically on this team, yeah, I think his skill set already matches it really well, which is why I kind of wanted him and Graham, because I felt like from year 1, I liked what they added to the team, and then whatever development they got was just kind of icing on the cake, because I thought they were going to immediately fit in, and it worked out for us. We got the number 1 seed. That was crazy by McKnight. If McGee doesn't pan out for the Sonics, I think we'll regret not getting Novak. I mean, that was the initial response, was to go out and get Novak, but the Celtics reneged on your deal. Novak didn't look particularly impressive in the Sonics versus Celtics game, but that Celtics situation's a little bit weird. He wasn't even playing until I made a couple of trades for the Celtics to get him on the court. I still think Novak's going to end up being a really good player. I think if I was GM of the Sonics, I probably just would have tried to get both Thompson and Novak. Let's try to get your duo, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, y'all might literally get the number 5 pick in the lottery this year. Just absolute beast mode. We can sim this game. We got a lot of games to go through. Let's get to game 2 here. Let's see the box score, of course. Mago drops 31, 16, 3. Steal, 2 blocks, 13 and 29. It wasn't his typical dominant performance. Albert Ellis, of course, had that kind of strange cold run in the 3rd quarter, but still ends up 23, 4 and 7. McKnight drops 21, 7 and 5 on 7 of 10. Is Novak canonically Steve Novak's son? That should be kind of... I feel like Steve Novak is who I think he is, right? Let me just look this up real quick, because I think I know who you're talking about. It's that super... It's the shooter for the Knicks. Yeah. I feel like Milos Novak is so much more athletic than Steve that he can't be his son. We saw him put... was it McGee on the biggest poster I've seen in any of the rookie clips all series long. That ain't Steve Novak's son. But it is fun to create brother and father-son storylines when you can, for sure. His mama must be athletic. That's true. You can always get it there. So yeah, I think if I was GMing the Sonics and I had the option to get both of them, I probably would have done it, because if y'all get the 5th pick in this year's draft, just by having the number 1 odds, that's gonna be rough. I'll just show y'all. I know this isn't the point of this stream, but this draft, I know we talked about it, but it is not very good. Keldrin Mogbo could be something. He just has upside. He's got a couple. But man, look at these day 1 skill sets. Y'all need a point guard, and there's Stanley Hayward, who's the number 1 player in this class. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be honestly really close to a bigger version of Albert Ellis. Maybe not as good of a 3-point shooter. Conrad Tiggs has a good day 1 development, but he's 6'1". It's 205 pounds. He's just 1 inch shorter than Albert Ellis, as you can look at it that way. Here's another guy, but he's 6 foot flat. Another guy, 6'2", 214. Mo Hendricks doesn't look bad. He's not much of a defender or playmaker, though, but he just can score a bit. And then just other positions in this class. I mean, look at these guys. Jimmy Wells looks pretty solid to start, but he has C potential. Conrad Dennis, I think, I mean, he has the LeBron James ceiling, right? Yeah, the Mobo Bros would be a good storyline if you don't win the #1 pick. I'd say if you can't get Hayward, Mobo would be cool for the storyline. Or where is he? Keldrin Mobo or Conrad Dennis for the LBJ ceiling. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with this draft. If you're not getting Stanley Hayward, everyone has a terrible floor. I mean, we're talking like Lamar Dennis has what, C potential or something, B minus. It actually says all NBA. Dang. But I think his base potential is pretty terrible. But this guy does have a ceiling. Where's he projected to go? Late lottery. Yeah, I don't know who Dennis Scott is either. So yeah, I mean, once the playoffs are over, we'll talk about this a lot more. We don't need to go into it too much depth right now. But let's see what's happening elsewhere. So the Rockets win the first 2 games in the West. Brooklyn is beating the Bulls, and Indiana won game 1 over Orlando. I hope if we go to the finals, we face one of the teams up here. I hope we face either the Pacers or the Magic. I think they're both better than either of these teams. I know Orlando's the 8th seed, but they weren't doing too hot, and then they acquired Ja Morant. So now they have Morant and Banchero, and then this guy Glenn Jackson who they drafted. So yeah, I have no idea, Johnny. You know more than I do, so I'll trust you on that. But that was his era, the Shaq and Penny. Man, I wish Shaq and Penny. I feel like that lasted maybe a little longer. Game 2 of round 2 kicks off right now. Now, I think this is the part of the stream where, apart from just showing off round 2, there's some things I wanted to talk about. Just kind of, I wanted to, New Year's just passed, and so I've been able to have some time to think about kind of the state of this channel. He still does announcing, that's cool. 12-2-2, pretty bad efficiency. So yeah, if that's his floor, you don't want to be that. But this is what, episode 46. So of this series. So I'm not saying we're getting close to the end by any means. We haven't even won a championship. We're definitely not. The other series I've done, the last 2 series I've done to completion, both ended at like episode 69 and 70. So I don't think we're anywhere near done. But we are getting to the point where the team's really good, right? Which is always kind of an inflection point in a series. Some people just lose interest. I mean, Mago starting off with style. Some people lose interest because they don't want to see a good team play. I get that. But the one thing that I think is going to be, that needs to be a change in this series is the way I've been doing the playoffs. I feel like in MLB, at the very tail end of that Rockies franchise, I found the kind of formula that I like to do in the postseason. I feel like I just haven't quite found that sweet spot yet here in NBA 2K. And the thing is, I love playoff basketball, and the problem with the way I've been doing the playoffs so far is, yeah, I think Saramago is going to help the interest stay a little bit too, Bun, just because he's so incredibly dominant. That's more than any player I had in my previous 2K draft only series. I had some good players. I had 3 different players that won MVP, but Mago's a different breed. But my problem is the way I do the playoffs right now with doing a series in 1 episode, depending on what length that series goes, between 4 and 7 games, that takes anywhere from 12 to 20 hours for me to make, and this is no joke. That OKC series episode that I made took me nearly 20 hours to make. And don't get me wrong, I think that putting in work to make good quality content for the people who like to watch my channel is always good. But the problem for me is that's 20 hours and I'm gonna make like $2 on it, maybe $3. That's not a very good return on my investment. And that's not even the biggest problem for me. What the biggest problem is, the way I've been doing the playoffs right now, because it takes so long. I love playoff basketball and I love watching these games. I love the intensity. This series against Golden State feels like a big mismatch, but I still love watching playoff basketball. And so I'm watching these games, I'm recording the first part, I'm watching the series, and I'm loving it. I'm so excited to show you guys these playoff series that I'm watching because I love the chess match that it is, going back and forth, trying to figure out how to beat these teams you don't beat them 7 times in a row, but how to win 4 games against the same team. I think the chess match that becomes of that is so incredibly interesting. But the problem for me is by the time I get towards the end of that video and I've done 7-8 hours worth of editing, I am so fed up. I'm just like, please let me do anything other than edit Blizzard Lakers game right now, please. And even that one, it was only a 5-game series and it took me 12 hours to make that episode. And so I don't want to feel that way. I want the excitement that I have when I'm watching the games to stay all the way through until I want that excitement to be there when I'm presenting the content to you, if you know what I mean. And Mago for 3, let's go. And so I'm trying to find a way to make that work. And I'm trying my hardest that even though I'm totally fed up of that playoff series by the time I'm done editing it, to still sound excited in my voiceovers. And I hope you can't sense my annoyance. Hopefully not at all. But if you do, hopefully not too much when I'm voicing over, because that's the very last thing I do. So like that's like the last 2 hours of that 12 or 20 hour experience is me doing the voiceover. And I don't want to feel that way about the playoff games that I'm releasing, you know. So the problem for me is, though, I haven't yet found a method that I like better. But I do have an idea, and the idea has actually stemmed from my Cleveland Browns franchise and the way I've kind of structured gameplay in that one, where, you know, I'll sim some and then I'll hop into a drive once it gets past the 50-yard line, right? And then so I'll be kind of hopping in and out of games, but when I hop into the games, I don't cut it at all. I'll just we'll watch the rest of that drive, even if it's like a 2-yard run, not very exciting. But that kind of balances between not showing a whole game that's an hour long, but also kind of reducing my load in terms of editing, you know what I mean? And so that's what we're gonna actually experiment here with in game 2, and I want to see how I like it. I want to see how y'all like it, where we're gonna maybe watch the game for 5-6 minute stretches at a time, then sim some, hop back in, sim some, and so on and so forth. If the game's close in the last 5 minutes, we'll watch the last 5 minutes. And we're gonna see if that works, because I think that's an idea that can hopefully keep the excitement that I feel towards the playoffs and have it kind of be part of the final product that I release. Sounds like a lot of people like this idea, just hopping into close games. I've thought about that, just kind of simcasting most of them. But the problem I've found is, let's take this series as an example, actually. What if we just simcasted this series with the Warriors and we swept them and not one single game was close? That would be an entire playoff series done in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that either. So it's tough because it's trying to find a balance. 'Cause I don't want it to take 20 hours for me to do a playoff series. I also don't want it to take 2 minutes. And so that's been the struggle that I've had. And so I'm just trying to experiment because we're getting to the point in this series, we're down the stretch. Most of what we're going to be doing is honestly the playoffs. You know what I mean? We'll be doing stuff for the Sonics, but most of the intrigue for the offseason right now is Sonics related. You know what I mean? Rather than Blizzard related. Like the offseason for the Blizzard, from this point going forward, it's going to be like, maybe do we get a bench guy in the draft, and can we keep our guys around, you know? Are we going to lose a guy here in free agency that we need to replace, etc., etc.? But from right now, from episode 40, whatever this playoff start is, 45, probably to the end of the series, at least probably half of the episodes are going to be on the playoffs. So I'm feeling the pressure to kind of find a way to present the playoffs that keeps my subscribers, my loyal listeners, the guys here in chat, the guys that come into the comment section, the guys that drop the likes, that view all my videos. I want to keep y'all invested while also not burning out, because I got to be honest, with that Lakers episode, it took me, what, like a week to make that one? I probably could have made it in 3 days, because I had the entire, all 5 games recorded the day after I released the end of the regular season episode, and it took me the rest of the time to edit it just because I kept putting it off because I really didn't want to do it. All right, let me read some of these. I want to hear what you guys have thoughts have been. How's I kind of gone through this rant? I've been kind of reading chat, but not really. That's crazy. Thank you, man. Seriously, I want to make good, high quality content, because that's the thing too. I don't want just the fact that I don't want to edit a video for 20 hours all of a sudden make my content worse. That's not my goal at all either. I really want this channel to kind of have a big uptick in terms of quality. I think there are some things that I'd like to improve on the channel in 2025. And so I don't want to do anything that ends up lowering the quality of the videos. That's one of my big things too. I like the streams as well. It's easier to do them more. That's something I want to fine tune in 2025 as well. I want to figure out how many streams I should do in a series, when's a good time to stream in a series, because I like intermixing streams in a series quite often. I think it's a really fun way to kind of shake things up, but I don't want to make them mandatory, because sometimes the stream ends up being 2 or 3 hours and people just don't want to watch something for that long, you know what I mean? But finding a way, this is probably the exception where it's like a playoff series as a live stream. I don't think I'm going to do that very often, but kind of stuff like Summer League, or maybe just a couple of games in the regular season, kind of more supplemental optional content. I do like to keep streams involved in the series, kind of get the takes of my subscribers live. I think is always fun. Don't want to burn out. Yeah, that's the big thing. By the end of a lot of my series, I end up kind of getting burnt out and just kind of want to find a conclusion to the series, and I want to make sure that my desire is kept up as well. So then post 2 playoff series in 1 video. I'm not sure how it would work. So let's just say, like right now, we've watched 6.5 minutes into this game. So if this is an episode, maybe at this point we'd let's say we're just experimenting here. Let's say we watch the first 8 minutes of the first quarter. I still think it'll be 1 playoff series per video, but I think the videos will come out a lot sooner. It won't take me a whole week to make it, because the editing time will be cut so much. Because what happens is, the way I've been doing it, I cannot commentate it live. I almost never commentate gameplay live, but I can do it in my Browns franchise, right? Because I'm only hopping in for stretches. I can commentate it live, and that saves me so much time editing. But if I'm only showing, let's say, roughly 30 minutes a game, or maybe 20 minutes a game, and I can commentate it live, I think that still allows us, because I want the playoff games to feel important. I don't want to do so much simming that it feels like, because I do feel like playoff basketball is very high intensity, very high quality oftentimes. And so I want to make sure that it feels important in the series still. So I still feel like probably one playoff series per episode, but the episodes, because my episodes always slow down significantly come to playoffs, but that would allow me to still kind of keep the pace up during the playoffs as well. No idea how to balance that, not tech savvy. Yeah, it's something that, like, I'm kind of just speaking out loud, but it's kind of a creator thing, because I know not a lot of people are experienced. I know Bozo has a channel, so he does with video editing and stuff, but I know not everybody's, you know, experienced in what it takes to make a YouTube video or anything. If the Blizzard win a finals, switching the focus to the Sonics would be a good idea. That's interesting. I still think the Sonics are going to be something I focus on the second channel, and the reason is because I want, this is like a beta test for something that I might start NBA 2K26 with, where from the very beginning, right, I have a team and chat has a team, and so that's the kind of idea that I have, and so I want to test if that works. So I still want to kind of be managing two teams, but this season we kind of, all I did for the most part was just show Sonics games. I think going forward in more seasons, once there are more interesting decisions to make for the Sonics, there will be an increased focus on the Sonics just because of that. I was going to ask about the Blizzard's contracts. Are you going to be able to afford Ellis, McKnight, and Mago? So Ellis is just on his 4th year rookie deal, so that'll be easy. And then Mago and McKnight for sure. So if I learned anything from my 2K24 draft-only franchise, is you can keep 4 core players. Other than that, you probably gotta be willing to move on from people. So I think the core 3 of Mago, McKnight, and Ellis are probably here to stay for the long haul, unless they decide to leave an unrestricted free agency, which is always a possible. That's pretty far down the line though, because we're just about to give Mago and McKnight their rookie deal extensions. So yeah, this is about the time. So let's just say we've watched about 8 minutes here. Then I'd maybe sim. I'd watch maybe the last. We're tied 50-50, 409. We should probably jump in right here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, McKnight, Mago, and Ellis, until they become unrestricted free agents, are 100% going to be Blizzard. We'll if they don't decide to sign with us straight up out of restricted free agency, we'll match whatever they get. And then you got to find out who that 4th person is. It could be Grown Man Graham. It could be Rudolph Garrett, who has no nickname so far, but I'm sure we'll find one. Somebody called him a Swiss Army knife. Could be something related to that. But guys like Max Christie, who we have right now, and we're able to pay him $15 million a year, once we start paying people, like, there's probably only a couple of years of Max Christie left. I think it would be cool with Blizzard winning one championship move on. So it looks like there are a couple of people that think that could be a good idea. I think Mago's the kind of player that I'm going to want to keep close attention to for the entirety. Like, I'm going to want to follow the Blizzard just to see just how good Mago is. Like, he has a chance to be an all-time great. We didn't really get that. We did get some Hall of Famers in 2K24's team, but we didn't get anybody that was, like, close to resembling an all-time great. Kind of like Neil Dorsey with my MLB The Show 24 franchise. You wanna follow that guy closely as long as you can, because I can almost guarantee that if I do another draft-only franchise in 2K26, I'm not going to get a player as good as Mago. Used to make clips for TikTok, and they'd take 30 minutes for like a 30-second clip. So one of my goals to improve the quality of my channel, I think I have to find a way to incorporate shorts into the channel. You gonna do MLB? We got a couple asking about MLB. We're definitely doing MLB. I think one of the weird things with my channel is I have I have 3,000 subscribers, but I'm only getting like 300 views on my videos right now. And I think it's in part because like literally half of my subscribers come from MLB The Show. So a lot of them just aren't really interested in my non-MLB The Show content. In fact, I've gotten a couple comments recently just like, I'm waiting in the wings for your MLB The Show series. What was Mago's player comp? His ceiling was Tim Duncan. I can't remember what it was Dan Issel. It was the same ceiling and floor that Oliver Thompson had for the Sonics, and the same ceiling and floor that Dante Hardy has for the Suns. 2K has generated this kind of player 3 times in this series. I just think Mago was the best of the 3, but I mean, you're talking about the same ceiling and floor for Mago that Oliver Thompson has. So if that doesn't give you hope for Oliver Thompson, I don't know what will. Go Diamondbacks. I like the Diamondbacks jerseys. I like the Diamondbacks towards the end of that Rockies series. They were signing like the best free agents every year. I don't know how they did it. That was nuts. Ended up being a really good 2.99. Yeah, I'm almost at 3. So if you look, I think I started 2024 just below 1,000. So I started 2025 just below 3,000. So that's pretty big growth. But the problem is I went from 1,000 to 2,500 during MLB The Show. And then my growth severely dropped off and my views severely dropped off once I stopped playing MLB The Show. So even though I love 2K and Madden, those games aren't doing nearly as good for my channel as MLB The Show is. Tim Duncan deserves way more respect. Tim Duncan is insane. It's just because his game was so fundamentally sound and not flashy, and everybody loves the entertaining player because basketball is a sport, maybe more than any other sport out there, probably more than any more, that just allows individuals to shine and allows them to be flashy and super entertaining. And Tim Duncan just did things the right way and he won basketball games. So, yeah, he definitely... I feel like a lot of like the really smart basketball heads have him ranked really highly. They know, but like the general consensus, yeah, I think is a little low on Tim Duncan for sure. I don't even know to compare Mago to. Honestly, I think he's like a Giannis who can shoot. I think that's the best comparison. Like, imagine if Giannis could shoot literally 45% from 3 on 10 threes a game. That's what Mago did this year. I don't know if it was 10, but it was some crazy high number. And that's who Ayrton Saramago is. He's insane. Fan Fiend through the Oakland series. That was a fun series. I like that one. Found you through the Blizzard series. Appreciate that, Ricky. Giannis or Kevin Garnett. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. I'll watch another MLB series. Yeah, so I'm hoping, like, I kind of need my MLB The Show 25 series to do well. Because I've been struggling to get like 500 views on a video forever, despite the fact that I have 3,000 subscribers. My sub to view ratio, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining to y'all, because y'all are here, so y'all aren't. I'm preaching to the people that are actually the people that watch. You know what I mean? But it's so weird to me. Mago would probably be the best player ever. He was real. I mean, we're watching history, and it's really funny because I had like the undisputed GOAT, Neil Dorsey, in my MLB The Show 24 series. And now, I mean, Mago, I'm not going to say he's going to be the undisputed GOAT, but he certainly has that upside. I mean, he's actually insane. I hear Bonds will be in the next show. Might have to grab that. That'll be interesting. I'm gonna do another draft only franchise in MLB The Show. In fact, I already know what team I'm gonna use. Yeah, so there are some things that I want to get better at, because I really need 2025 to be better for my channel, because I need... I will watch the start of the third quarter as well. Dang. There we go, Bozo. That's really... That's the thing about YouTube, is you never know what video is going to blow up. I was doing like a Bears Madden franchise and a Rockets NBA 2K franchise at the very beginning of my channel. What team? I don't know if I want to reveal it. I'm not super opposed to it, but you know, you can always make a video out of a team reveal and get some additional content out of it. Yeah, so I definitely need to do shorts, because that's kind of the wave. And if I'm really committed to growing my channel, which I really need my channel to grow this year a decent amount. At least the views. The subscribers, I'm happy with how the subscribers are going. But if you like compare the Blizzard to the Nashville Sound I did last year, they're like very, very similar in views. So even though it's a year later and my channel grew a ton, it's like not getting any more views than it did a year ago. And one of the ways to do that is obviously increase the actual quality of your content as well, not just hope it reaches more people. And shorts is one of the ways to help it reach more people for sure. Yeah, I think it's... I'll show you, because... let me pull up YouTube real quick and I'll show you, because I'm subscribed to it. It's called Bozo3K is his YouTube channel. Pirates should be a good team to watch. So I'm not 100% decided on my team, but I know the team that I think I'm going to use. I will say the Pirates were second place last year. If I didn't do the Rockies, it would have been the Pirates. I really like the idea of the Pirates. And they'd be on the short list again this year, but they're currently, I'll say they are not in first place. The team I think is in first place will probably be a pretty popular rebuild team, which is always a concern for a smaller channel. You kind of want to pick a team that won't get used a ton, just because, you know, the way YouTube works. If there's a channel with 500,000 subscribers doing a Rockies franchise and one with one, they'll promote the guy with 500,000 subscribers, you know what I mean? But the deal is, I'm doing a draft-only franchise, which makes it unique enough that my Rocky series still did pretty good. Which has kind of been my brand, the draft-only franchise. I'm not doing, obviously not a draft-only franchise with the Browns. I honestly, I've been so busy talking, we're up by 9. I could not tell you, for the most part, who's been good in this game. Lemon used to live in Pittsburgh. Okay. Oh, did I miss something? Or are you telling... Okay, I see what's happening. Ground series has been fun. It's a little bit off-brand for me. So now we've seen a little bit here in the third quarter. This is probably where I'd start to sim a little bit again. Boy, the Warriors are in the lead. I think we got to watch the rest of this one out. Sometimes I'm not. Yeah. And if you don't like, I don't want you to feel like you have to force a comment. I know, like for me, the comment section is what I use to know if people are enjoying the content, because I'm not getting a ton of views right now, but I know that the people that like my channel are enjoying it when I get high comments. But that being said, I don't want you to feel like pressured to comment something if you don't feel like you have something to comment. You know what I mean? Just like when somebody comments, if I don't feel like there's a natural way for me to reply, I'll just hit the like button and I won't reply to you. You know what I mean? But when I feel like there is an easy way for me to reply, I like to reply to all my comments, because that's how you build a community in my eyes. It's a two-way street, you know? Don't really watch football at all, only baseball and basketball. Yeah, and I know some people who are only baseball and football and they don't watch my basketball stuff. It's just a matter of preference. And I think a lot of my subscribers are kind of baseball only people. Like how 2K has the sweating mechanic. That is nice. Lived all over the place, huh? Yeah, and the natural response to like great vid is either a thanks or just a like, you know what I mean? And that's always appreciated. But don't feel like you need to, you know what I mean? But whenever you have like a question or an idea, I always love to hear it. I can't say always. There's been one guy who, I don't want to talk crap about anybody. There's been one guy who's watching my Rocky series though, who's been commenting a bunch of negative things. And I finally just asked him to go watch another channel. It's like the first time I've ever had to like tell a subscriber to go to like stop watching my channel. Or I don't know if he's a subscriber, but a viewer at least. You football, baseball, and basketball? That's perfect. That's what I do too. I love commenting. I just don't want you to feel pressured to respond. Here's the thing. I don't feel pressured. I just like responding. If there's because to me, comments are like a conversation. Like I said, it's better. It's way better when it's a two-way street, because I feel like people want to respond more if they feel like they have a chance of getting a response back. Or sorry, want to comment more if they have a chance, feel like they have a chance of getting a response back. And when somebody has an idea, I don't want it to just to feel like the idea was never heard or anything. You know, I want to actually give my opinion. Sometimes I'll even give my opinion on a comment in the next video if I feel like it needs to be kind of fleshed out more than just a single comment back. Vancouver is back in the lead here, by the way. Johnny is the GOAT. Keep commenting. Johnny is the GOAT of commenting right now. Sometimes I'll watch a video and I won't be able to look at my phone for a while because I'm with family or at work or something, and I see like 8 Johnny comments. It's great. I love it. Bean took out the trash. I mean, at first he was commenting like some decently positive stuff and I was responding, and then he was commenting some negative stuff. And I'm not against, like, if you're saying I'm doing something wrong or something, bring it. Like I love, like, okay, because you might be right, or I might say, you know what, I thought of it this way and that's why I did this. But he did like 12 negative comments in a row, and finally, and so at that point I just stopped. After like 10 comments in a row of negative, I'm just not going to respond to him anymore. I think I told him, like, hey, this series ended 6 months ago. I don't know what you want me to do about all these negative comments, is what I told him first. And then I just stopped responding, and he kept going and going and going negative. So finally, I think it was today, I just asked him to go watch another channel, please. Bozo also comments a lot. I appreciate it. I appreciate anybody who comments a lot. I appreciate the people who watch but don't comment but drop a like. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all are helping me grow my channel. And y'all are what's making it fun. If I had a channel that didn't have a lot of comments, I don't know if I'd have a channel. I'm just going to say that. I love playing sports franchise mode. I think this stuff is fun. I hate video editing, as I've already talked about enough in this live stream. But what makes it fun is, like, the thing about doing this on YouTube, it took sports franchise to a whole nother level for me, because before I would have a sick franchise, but I was the only one who ever knew about it. The sick guys I drafted, nobody ever cared about those guys but me, you know what I mean? But now I draft a guy like like Ayrton Saramago, and now all of a sudden there's 300 people that know what Ayrton Saramago is. Yeah, Bun, I noticed your comments for sure. And Bun's an example of somebody who maybe doesn't comment every video, but when he has something to say, he comments, and I love that. Like I said, I don't want anyone to feel like you need to comment on every video. I just want to create a type of community that when you have something to say it, and feel confident that you're probably going to get a response from me on it as well. That's the kind of community I want to create on this channel. And I love it when like my subscribers are commenting on each other's comments as well. I love that part as well. I didn't see the Rockies series until it was all over, so it doesn't feel right commenting. Yeah, it's a little weird commenting on old videos. At least like suggestions on what to change, right? I feel like normal comments of like, dang, Dorsey, 3 home runs, what a beast, or something like those are fine, right? But like, you should really change this player's body type or this player's number. And I'm like, dude, the series ended 6 months ago. What are you talking about? Yeah, or some obscure thing, or like, why didn't you draft this player at number 76 in year 2 of your Rockies franchise? Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea why I didn't draft that player 76 in year 2 of my franchise or whatever. I found you from watching Stumpy. Love Stumpy. Popped up on the recommended tab. There we go. I love that. YouTube helping me out. We are very similar in the way, because the way I learned from Stumpy. Stumpy is, I think, the best CPU versus CPU 2K content creator out there. And so I've tried to take... I first watched his... Was that Vancouver? It was a Canada team. I think it was Vancouver. Which is funny because I'm in Vancouver now. And I thought that series was so fun. And now I do this. No, the one before the Neptunes, it was... I'm going to look it up right now. Alright, at some point I'm going to have to lock into this game because we're in a very close game in the final 6 minutes. But I'm going to look up that series real quick and then I'll probably lock in. Game 2 has been all about... And that's kind of why I wanted to do this stream too, is I did want to talk to you guys about stuff more than just this series. It was his Vancouver Woodsman. 131 episodes. That dude does long series, man. I get to 70 and most of the time I'm done. Stumpy goated, but your sliders are more realistic. The funny part is I take my sliders from Stumpy and then I alter them a little bit. Oh man, I thought Mago was gonna big time block. So we're down by 3 here. 541. We talked a lot about the channel in general, but I think for the rest of game 2 here, I've got to lock into the gameplay. Your mom side quested you? Hey, that happens. Let's lock into this game because we got a real tight one here coming down to the wire. Down by 4, 5:35. After McKnight shoots this, again, I've been so distracted. I need to see who's having a good game. So Mago's 10 of 25. McKnight's 5 for 11. Ellis is 5 for 14. It's kind of the usual suspects. Nobody's had like an insane game. It's like unexpected from our team. Ellis and Mago. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. Kaminga's done a better job against Ayrton Saramago in the first 2 games than I thought he would. I mean, Poole. I mean, there must be a couple of hotties out there on the bench. I mean, I'm sitting courtside tonight because he's doing pretty well. Coming at 23, but on 17 shots. My nose is starting to get stuffy, which is always a bad sign. All right. Happens so much when I stream, and I literally don't know the cause of it. Kuminga. Inside the Pool. He hits the shot. Give it 25 points for Pool. Swear Cobb misses so many threes. I need to catch up on this series. Is it just me? I mean, people who are watching Stumpy, are his draft classes too strong? Because I just watched his offseason where he added a new team. And like the number one prospect had 20 badges? What? I know he started using, he usually uses 2K generated players, but this year he started using custom draft classes. And to me, they're just too good, which kind of made me temporarily lose interest, but I'll definitely catch up at some point. Yeah, he used John Cobb, but that was at the very beginning of the franchise, he was still using 2K generated draft classes. All right, we are in serious danger of here losing game number 2. And I have nothing against Stumpy. If that's the draft classes he wants to use, go for it. I'm not trying to say that as like it being bad for Stumpy. It just... We'll talk about it more after this game. What I think about custom draft classes. We got the stop. Now we need to score. Victor Jackson doubled. Finds Mago. Good rotations by the Golden State. They didn't really give us the big-time shot we want. Jackson drives. Reverse layup for Victor Jackson. On the cut, Lewis able to score over the top of Rudolph Garrett. Saramago on the wing. As Albert Ellis. He's shut down on the drive. Mago now, his turn to drive. How do you miss that, Mago? That's a guaranteed basket for Mago 9 times out of 10. I don't know why he didn't go all the way to the rim there, man. We are failing to execute down the stretch. We're down by 9. We need to pick up the pace. Start getting some good shots. That's not a great shot by Mago there. This is looking like year 3 Vancouver, where we just sucked in the clutch like every game. McKnight, catch and shoot. He drills it. Big time shots by Green Knight, but we need stops at this point in the game. Setting up a 3 for Kuminga. He decides not to fire it. Now trying to set up Jordan Poole. He is wide open. McKnight has to do a better job fighting through a screen there. He hardly even tried. He was still at the screener at the time Jordan Poole released that shot. And there's that foul animation again. Happens all the time. I don't even think Jordan Poole needs baddies to hit a shot that wide open. I mean, shoot. I might have been able to hit that shot. Poole's going off all of a sudden. Yeah, he's I said in game 1, didn't I? There might be a game where Poole just goes off. This was it, apparently. Happened already in game 2. King is such a weird looking player. He's so like buff. He's like wearing number 40. He's got no drip. Nice defense by McKnight there. Needed that one. But we need a basket here. Preferably maybe even a 3, but not necessary. Quick trigger from Albert Ellis. That's what, yeah. I think I already read that. That's what Poole does. He's definitely... There we go. The defense showing up all of a sudden. We could trim this to 1 score. Mago. Inside, has Kuminga on him. He should be able to out physical him, and he does just that. Like I said, I've been surprised that Kuminga's done so well against him. Mago has like 4 inches and like 40 pounds on the dude. Maybe not 40 pounds, but he blows by Mago. That's not good. One night pool has 12 points and a 4 of 18, and the next will have 38. There's like a lot. It seems like there's just so many of those players in the lane. Like the Jazz have like 3 of those guys. Colin Sexton, you could describe that way. Jordan Clarkson, Kente George. Like the guards who could just go off for one night and be awful the next. The NBA is littered with them these days, man. I mean, Kuminga initially blew by Saramago, and then Mago got picked by his own defender, by his own teammate. We just did the whole double timeout thing. I don't know why it's so hard for sports video games to figure out end of season timeout. What'd you miss, Ricky? We might lose game 2. We might lose game 2 is what you missed. We're down by 5 with 27 seconds remaining. Kuminga just blew by Saramago. Ellis puts up a 3. He missed it, and that's pretty much the ball game right there, guys. We're going to lose game 2. Maybe I disrespected the Wizards. That's the 3rd different team that I've called the Warriors that is not the Warriors. I've called them the Thunder now, the Grizzlies, and the Wizards. Probably because Jordan Poole is on the Wizards is why I did that one. But jeez, man, why can't I just say Warriors? We lost game 2 against the Lakers too. Maybe just game 2 is our kryptonite. I mean, Mago makes that to make it interesting here. Ignite and Mago are the 2 players I trust on clutch 3s. Ellis, no. I mean, Ellis, remember the Summer League debut for Ellis when he was hitting all those clutch 3s? I just feel like we go mostly to Saramago down the stretch, which is the right decision, of course. Garrett, he's doing his signature shot, but it takes a while to get there. But he drills it! It's a 3-point ball game! We need to get a steal here. But hope is not yet dead. Rudolph Garrett with the signature shots. I really like his go-to shot. I don't think it's his... I think it looks better than Mago's, but Mago's is more dominant because he almost always makes it. Rudolph Garrett, the rookie. Hitting a clutch shot. We don't get the steal. We didn't even look. Yeah, his go-to, he creates a ton of space on it. I really like that one. I don't know what it is. I probably got to look it up. But I feel like in the offseason, one of the things I'm probably going to do, those 2 free throws pretty much sealed the deal. Mago pump fakes. We're going to lose 117 to 112. That's rough. I think I'm going to change Albert Ellis's go-to shot because his is just really bad for him. I don't know whose it is either, but it goes towards the defense, which isn't what you want on a 6'2" player. You want a kind of a step back one like Rudolph Garrett's. You want one that creates space with a sidestep or a step back because he's 6'2". His is a crossover into the defense, and it looks like really quick and good, but it just never works. In fact, it almost always gets stolen. Nearly a triple-double for Saramago. We actually haven't seen him get a ton of those, but nobody else above 20. Just 7 of 18, 2 of 10 from deep for Ellis. Not nearly as good this game as he was last. 6 of 12, 6 of 11 from deep. I mean, Ellis is just all 3s today, which I don't mind at all. That's his best shot. Poole drops 32 in the win on 50% from the field, 4 of 10 from deep, 12 of 12 from the stripe. Maybe Jason Tatum or Damian Lillard. I mean, it's a sidestep. Yeah, I think a sidestep or a step back. I'll look into it. We might as well just look at to see what they are. I'm not going to change it right now because that seems kind of something that you would work on in the off season. You know what I mean? Any changes like that, changes to appearance, changes to tattoos, changes to signatures. So here's his jumper, in case you were wondering. He's got, somebody says he plays like Donovan. He reminds him of Donovan Mitchell. It might be because he has the Donovan Mitchell base to his jumper. Have a good night, Matt Slimmon. It's John Morant's. It's like a really good, quick crossover. And it seems like it would look good on paper, but he's going into the defense. That was you, Ricky. Yeah, so there you go. That's probably why you think he reminds you of Donovan Mitchell, because he has it as part of his jump shot. But it's going into the defense. So I think that's, I mean, I don't even think that's as good for John Morant. I feel like that'd be good for like a big guard. Yeah, that's more of like a tall player. And it looks like it would create a lot of, it's such a quick crossover that it could create space, but he honestly turns it over a lot when he tries to use it. So we'll probably change that. What's Rudolph Garrett's? I really like this one. It's a little long, so you can't do it with like 3 or 4 seconds on the shot clock. If I had to... It's Klay Thompson's. Oh, yeah, I mean, we've talked about... you've definitely been talking about his height a lot, but even since I drafted him, I always said his height was going to be a problem. I just thought he would be able to overcome it, which I think for the most part, he has. I don't look at this shot and think of Klay, but I think that's a really nice go-to shot. What's Maga's? Maga I don't think is like that good, but he's just so good and he's so tall that it just works for him. It's Victor Wembanyama's. Because he doesn't need to create that much space, right? He's 6'11", so it's just a tiny step back. But that's all he needs because he's so tall. Want to see what McKnight is? Have I ever seen McKnight do his go-to shot? I guess we'll see. Jordan Poole. Oh yeah, we've seen him do that. I've seen him do that. I thought that was just a regular step back jumper, but that was when he was going to his step back. I don't think I've ever seen him do it go into his right, but I've definitely seen that go into his left. I just thought he was doing a regular step back, but yeah. Okay, that's his go-to shot. That makes sense. All right. Yes, some of these are weird, but there you have it. Game 3, man. So, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I was going to go to 4 games if we were leading 3-0 after 3, but because it's 1-1, this will be the final game here of the stream. There will be a part 2. I'll be doing this entire series over live stream. It'll just be in 2 parts now because we're not going to win. We're not going to sweep them 4-0. I'll either do the Cleveland Browns playoff episode tomorrow and the stream on Saturday or vice versa. You'll find out if I release a Browns episode tomorrow. Expect part 2 of this series to come out the next day, or if you see that I've scheduled a stream, you'll know that it's happened in that order. So if you guys have a preference, you can let me know, because I don't really care which order I do it. It just depends on, because I don't work tomorrow, so I haven't recorded the Browns playoff episode yet, but I could do the whole episode tomorrow because again I don't work. So never would have guessed Jordan Poole. Yeah, Jordan Poole and Cameron McKnight are not the same player at all. Like, at all. But kind of at the same time, neither are, I would expect like a Klay Thompson for Cameron McKnight. That's honestly what I think his best comp is. Oh, he got Albert Ellis to bite on the pump fake. And he gets to the rim. Easy A gets a screen. Goes inside to Victor Jackson. And we've got a dunk on both sides of the ball to start this game. Yeah, there's definitely baddies in California. There's no doubt about that. California girls, I mean, there's a song about them for a reason, you know what I mean? Step back. Oh my goodness. Is Jordan Poole just going to go nuclear and mess this series up for us? Is that what's going to happen? I hope not. No good for Cameron McKnight. Nice hands there by Garrett. I really like Garrett, man. I think my favorite player, my favorite non-Maga player might have to be Garrett. I think his skill set is so fun. Poole is not sustainable. Yeah, he's definitely going to go cold at some point. But what do you guys think of this not doing any strategy on either side versus doing it for both sides? Because I definitely don't want to do it for one side, because I do think that's an unfair advantage for the Blizzard. Which is why I think my team in 2K24 was so dominant in the playoffs. Because in 2K24, just because I was always game planning for the sound, but never for the other team. And we ended up probably winning the championship before we even deserved it. So I think it's got to either go both ways or neither way. You like the layup package for Garrett? Nice. You think neither is better? It certainly saves me time. The one thing that I would say about neither is, like, one of the things I love about playoff basketball is kind of like the chess match of always trying to out-strategize the other. But it doesn't work as well when you're the one doing both sides of the strategizing, you know what I mean? Strategy on both sides and let Johnny be the Warriors coach or whoever else I'm playing. That would be fun if I could, but the problem is the way. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Almost turned it over. Instead we get free throws. Yeah, that was a sick lob. I was in the middle of a sentence where I would have been a lot more excited about that. He'll take the other coach's duties. I'd have to, like, since I do an entire playoff series in one episode, I'd have to, like, email you about it or do a Discord call or something. I don't know. That's the only way it'd work, just the way I do the playoffs. But that'd be kind of funny. Because ultimately, I think I've pretty much found the strategy that I use against Vancouver. It's pretty much the same strategy no matter who we're facing, right? Can we see Victor Jackson's? Yeah, whatever you guys, this will be the last game we watch, but if there's something you want to see in this, whether if you want to see something in the draft class, if you want to see anything at all, if you want to see something on the Sonics, I'll show you guys whatever you want to see at the end. You coach your 6-year-old's team? I was coaching 6-year-old basketball. I've refereed 6-year-old basketball. That's really fun, actually. Oh man, it's definitely about that time. It's a good thing this is the last game because my nose is starting to plug. Whenever I do a stream that's like longer than 2 hours, which how long have we been streaming now? I don't even know. My nose starts to plug up a lot. Even once I get to like an hour and a half, it starts to plug up a lot. His first year playing basketball, he just played baseball. Nice. Yeah, you want to, it's so stiff. Yeah, it's definitely, it's like super, it feels like there's lag is the best way I can describe it. Like he jumps and it feels like he releases his shot on the way down. I don't know what it is. It just feels like it's not in sync. You want to coach your nephew's team? Ah, man, that'd sound like fun too. I have a few nephews and they're about that age where they're starting to try out sports. I think they played soccer last year. They live an hour away from me though, so I could never be a coach for them, but that would be fun if they were closer. I tried out for basketball. I was like, in high school, I was the final cuts before, so I didn't make my basketball team. So I switched to tennis. Funnily enough, to impress a girl. I ended up loving tennis. And now I play pickleball because I'm not in good enough shape to play tennis anymore. Knees beg to differ. Yeah, I remember the last time I played basketball. It was like my first time playing basketball in like 8 months. And I was like, I either got to start playing basketball regularly or I got to stop playing it altogether because this is not it. I'm going to try to be a high school coach then. That would be sick. Because then you can get a little bit more into strategy. Right now, you're just trying to teach the basics, right? At that age. Trying to get them to kind of understand the game. But once you can start kind of teaching strategy and stuff, that'd be really fun. I wouldn't mind being a football coach at some point. Thought you were going to be 6'6"? Oh, man. You're 6'1" at 13. You stopped growing at 13. That is highly unusual. Played basketball and baseball. Nice. I'm not saying this is like the same in every high school, but the baseball team in my high school, let's just say I hope your high school wasn't the same for baseball. The kids on that team were so annoying. You play basketball poorly? 5'3" to 5'9" is dang. Probably had to go through like 4 pairs of shoes in 1 year. Same amount of like clothing sets too. You're a scrappy 5'11", huh? Doing the work on the boards. I was always my basketball personality was definitely kind of the defender, rebounder, get my teammates involved. I was never like the go-to scorer, except for 1 year I had to be, and I wasn't awful. That was back when like basketball was my main thing before I started playing tennis. Oh, Cameron McKnight! Off 2 feet, vicious slam. 5'7" kick from the beginning. Yeah, sometimes sports wasn't meant to be a life calling. All right, we're at 16-14. Let's hop in. So this is kind of the vibe I'd be going for. Watch a bit, and maybe I'd wait for a run here, right? Like, oh, we're up by 12, so this it wouldn't necessarily. But let's say the Warriors went on like a 7-0 run, and all of a sudden it's back down to 5. Oh, dang, we got to stop this run. Let's hop in and watch this. Obviously on live stream it's a little bit different because I'm showing everything to you live, but because in football and in baseball it's really easy to find moments to hop in because, oh, we have a runner in scoring position and our best batter is up to the plate. Let's hop in and see if he can drive this guy home. Or, hey, our football team is down 3 and they just passed the 50-yard line. Let's see if they can take the lead. In basketball, there's not really that, right? You can see when somebody's going on a run, but that's really the only sign you have when to hop in. So really it's just kind of hopping in for stretches to see if your team can go on a run or if they can stop a run, stuff like that. It's not like as easy in basketball to identify the hop-in spots. Rudolph Garrett. I was thinking of Rafael Murillo because I was talking about my baseball series. That one's stolen away, so we waste the 3-point block. Got bunnies. When you're 5'11", you gotta have bunnies. You're gonna ball. Ellis, no good on the catch and shoot. Oh, your grandpa was 6'8"? Yeah, that'll do it. Skips a generation, I guess, huh? Williams. Well, if it skips a generation, I feel bad for your kids. Oh, Leonard Miller somehow sifts through the traffic there. That was a pretty sweet move. Another thing I wouldn't mind hearing y'all's thoughts are as we get, progress. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. As we progress further in this series, is what kind of you want to see from the regular seasons? Kind of the pace you'd like to see. What you'd like me to focus on in the regular season. This year it was kind of almost like a world tour replay right now. Okay, I'm a little bit ahead. What do you want to see on replay? He just snatched his ankles. Okay, we have to find an ankle snatch. Christie just got snatched. Okay, let's focus on... Oh, geez, it's been a while since I've been in here. All right. MI2. This is the problem with the desync. I don't know if... Way back. Is it here? All right, I'm going to look at where the stream is. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. Is this far enough back? Is it right here? So we got like almost a pick. Oh, baby. Oh, no. I thought he was going to fall all the way to the ground for a second. Yeah, he got... I mean, Williams did him dirty right there. I was going to pull up for a 3 in his face and hit it. Garrett pulls up baseline. Easy. So, yeah, going back to what I was saying before we saw Max Christie die. This year was kind of just almost like a world tour where I just wanted to see some of the teams and some of the drafted players that we hadn't seen yet. For both the Blizzard and the Sonics is kind of what I did for those games. But we did most of those this year, so next year... I mean, I could always just find some games I like myself, but... Got to the 6'9" point guard. I mean, that puts you in a spot where it's really hard to defend a 6'9" point guard. I remember, Ben Simmons is a little bit easier to defend now, but going back to Stumpy here, his Vancouver Woodsman franchise, I remember him having a lot of trouble guarding Ben Simmons in the playoffs at times because unless you have like a 6'5" point guard that you can have guard their 2 guard instead, and I don't know, put like your small forward on their point guard, it's really tough to stop those guys. It puts you in a really, really good spot matchup wise. I mean, I gotta say you got good drip sense. Are you talking about my drip or the drip I put on my players? I'm going to play small forward because you already had LaMelo. I mean, you already had a 6'7" point guard, so you already had a stud super tall point guard. Both? I appreciate that, Bozo. Thank you. Ellis? I guess he was fouled there. We'll take it.
First personal foul. Team scored. Shooting for the away team, Ellis.
The one downside of the draft only franchise, don't get me wrong, I love doing draft only franchises. But like, you never get to use like exciting real players, you know, because we're starting with like guys that are available in the expansion draft, so you're never gonna have people that are all that good. And then we obviously can't sign them in free agency. We can't trade for them. I love the draft only franchise. I think it's the perfect blend of challenging and fun. But if I had one kind of regret from doing it, it would be that he was not fouled. Hey, we ain't gonna complain about it. Albert Ellis can get a pair of free throws. Bit of a questionable call. Yeah, that was, I don't know where that foul came from. That was a weird pick and roll. They ended up like right next to each other. Hardy backing down Trace Jackson Davis and hits the shot. I gotta say, I think I like Hardy more than Jackson. Y'all can let me know what you think. But I think I might prefer Hardy over Jackson. The thing with Jackson though is he's better like handler, and he's got more badges. Jordan Poole. Took a timeout so we can get McKnight and Mago back on the court. Bozo agrees. He prefers Hardy over Jackson. We've got Albert Ellis, 5th in assists per game in the postseason. Stream lagging. All right, let me see on YouTube. It says excellent connection. Might have just been a momentary thing. Hopefully it's good now. I think my connections should be good, and YouTube's saying it's good. Now it's a lot. What the heck? Is it your internet? I think this. Okay, it's just okay. It's Bozo. Well, I hate to have Bozo having a hard time, but it's good that it's not on my end. Garrett almost took a bad shot. Finds Mago instead, but by then Golden State had a chance to recover. But sometimes with Mago, it just doesn't matter. In fact, I wouldn't even say sometimes. I'd say a lot of the times. You had your data on instead of Wi-Fi? That'll do it to you. I guess depending on where you are. I don't know. Every single house I've ever lived in, my data in that house was awful. Like I had like no bars. So if my like Wi-Fi ever went out, I was not able to do anything. Nice follow up by Victor Jackson. It's so weird because it's like a pretty high populated area. I feel like you shouldn't have terrible bars there. Maybe it's because you're inside a house, probably is what it is. Gonna get snow soon. I haven't seen snow in 7 years. They get a lot of snow here in Utah. Well known for snowboarding and skiing here in Utah, so we get a decent bit. Jordan Poole, tons of space. No good though. We're up by 18. We might be able to sim a decent bit here of the third quarter. From Louisiana. First time snow in 7 years. Under a minute left here in the first half. Vancouver looking like a pretty good bounce back game after the game 2 loss. McKnight's, I mean, that was just a warm-up jumper there. You doubt it'll actually happen? It's just being forecasted right now. There's that. That's the one thing, like, y'all don't have to see, at least in this series. I don't know if you see other series that show fouls more often, but that singular animation happens so much in this game. I don't know why anybody would fall for that. It's like such a dumb move. Oh my god, I thought he was gonna yam it on his head. Said he'll settle for the free throws. 20 points here in the first half. This has been Mago's best game for sure. Used to live in Memphis, Tennessee. It's not every winter. Makes sense. So you're used to the snow, just not where you live right now. Warriors playing for the last shot here. I mean, we're about to have we're just under a 70-point half. The offense definitely back on track here in the first half. Warriors will get one more on the board. Got it off in time. Hasn't posterized no one yet. Not in this game. He got a couple of posters early on in game 1. I think. Or were they wide open? I know he's had a decent amount of dunks. I just don't know if he's had a ton of posters. He's usually good for at least like a monster poster a game, it feels like, these days. The team looking really good. We'll check the stats here. Brooklyn might sweep Chicago. 22-5-3 at the half for the Brazilian beast. Like, I know he had that wide open lob, but I'm trying to remember back to game 1. It's so easy to forget. 7 of 10 from the field, doing so much better. Victor Jackson was a basket away from a double-double at half. Ellis just 1 for 5, but he's got 7 assists already. Leonard Miller 4 for 4, second on the team. So the power forward position has 33 points at half. We've just been running through the power forward spot in this game. Everybody's scored. I mean, Max Christie, like, look, filling up the scoreboard even with the turnovers. He's done a little bit of everything. There you go. 3 turnovers at the half for Christie isn't very good though. I must admit. I drove through Memphis. It's pretty ghetto. They have good barbecue. I would like to go back to Texas. I went to Texas for like a long weekend one time. Oh man, the brisket there. It made me want to literally go to Texas just to go and eat some brisket. It's crazy, man. I think my camera's moving. I don't want it to move, so I gotta tell this to stop real quick. There we go. It'll stop moving now. Yeah, the brisket, man. Like, I get brisket here in Utah, and don't get me wrong, I think brisket's good everywhere, but it is not even close. I get what they say in Texas, where like Utah can't do it right, or wherever you're living can't do it right. It's true. I used to think it was bogus. I'm like, dude, it's meat, and we have the same instruments. I don't know what they do. Like, is there anything that they do in Texas that literally is impossible to do in Utah? King with the slam over the top of Rudolph Garrett. You work at Buffalo Wild Wings. And you have a brisket burger that's really good. I only have the wings there. I mean, I go to Buffalo Wild Wings for those garlic parm wings, man. I love those garlic parm wings, and then I always get 2 kinds. I always get 2 or 3 kinds, and one of them is always garlic parm, and then I'll kind of switch it up with the other ones. Mago, no good. Jackson swatted away. That was not a good sequence for the Blizzard there. We'll probably watch the first few minutes here of the third, and then we'll sim again. I mean, Poole's gotten Ellis to bite on that pump fake a couple times. This time Ellis actually did a nice job staying in front of him. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, just such a smooth jumper. I love a nice jumper. Albert Ellis shot. Yeah, he must just have a high block tendency, right? Take it easy on that Mac. It's really unhealthy. But it's good. If it's good, just do a little exercise, and that's thing you go, boom. You're good. Reeves. Poole has it baseline. He's waiting a pick. Step back. So yeah, you got basketball practice. That gives you the room to eat some mac and cheeseburgers. My problem is I'll eat a mac and cheeseburger and then I won't do basketball practice. I'll just eat the mac and cheeseburger because it's good. Nice. Finished through the foul by Mago there. All right. I think it's time to sim some. You look at, yeah, I am so jealous of, I mean, do we even need to watch any more of this game? I'm so jealous of my high school stuff. I could literally whatever I wanted, bro. 16, enjoy it. Yeah, you're 16, you can eat all the mac and cheeseburgers you want. When you're that young, that's my problem too, Ricky. Like, a lot of my interests just strictly don't involve a lot of exercise. I'm in a pickleball league. That's where I get most of my exercise. But like, my favorite things to do, like watching sports, I do that on a couch. Playing video games, I do that in this chair. You know what I'm saying? You want to move out? Yeah, that's definitely the age where you're ready to just, fortunately, especially in today's age, don't quite have the income most of the time to move out. Tell you about I'm not the smallest dude myself. Nice shot by Ellis. Reach in by Hardy, a little unnecessary. 6'1", 205, 210. That's honestly not all that bad, if you ask me. Although, I mean, there's different ways you could be. There's 2 different types of 205, you know what I mean? Don't waste your cash on the little girls. Truth. Go back in time and invest in, what's it called? Why can't I think of it? Whatever. I lost my train of thought. I don't even remember what I was talking about at this point. 6'2", 170. That was about where I was in high school. 98-78 after 3. Fine by yourself. That's how I've been for a while now, too. I just got this new place by myself. I don't think I want to do it long term, but for the right now, I'm chilling right now. For house and a car, yeah. Especially, you gotta save so much these days. If you wanna. So many people in this generation of people that are trying to buy a house right now, it's crazy, man. The amount of money you need to make. All right. I think we'll see if they make any sort of comeback. Not really. I think we're good to call game 3 a wrap. Jordan Poole does drop 30 again, so he's actually been really good for the Warriors, scoring at least these last 2 games. 36, 11, and 8 for Mongo. He does have 5 turnovers, though. Ellis has a bit of a better second half. Ends up going 4 for 9 from deep. 22, 7, and 9. 16, 3, and 1. 15, and 5. We get a double-double. I'm blocking it. I don't even know who this is. Actually, I do. It's Victor Jackson, but I couldn't see it, so I'll make sure you guys can see it. Garrett did a little bit of everything for us in this game. Shot pretty solid from the floor. I'll tell anybody to sub to me. I mean, I don't know if your girl's gonna like my comment on my content, but hey, I'll always take a sub. Let's I just want to do this. We're not gonna actually play this game. I just want to see what happens in the other series. So San Antonio's won 2 straight to get that back into a series. Chicago avoids the sweep, and Indiana might sweep Orlando. So great bounce back game by the guys. I do remember that somebody wanted to see Victor Jackson's jumper. Sorry, I can't remember. I can't always remember who requests what, but I will show it. It's a Ousmane Dieng base and a Karl Malone release. I wonder what's the. So if we, I'm not gonna. Is it more the base? I think it's kind of more the base that looks really weird. I think the release is kind of weird too. They're both terrible. I think the base is terrible and the release is terrible. And you combine them because like even this, like this Sandro release looks more normal. But that still looks like kind of a weird jumper. But this Karl Malone release is also terrible. Like let's switch this. Yeah, like that's a little bit more maybe of a normal base. And that still just is a weird release. I'd say this is maybe his terrible jumper is maybe 60% because of his base, 40% because of his release. But they're both terrible. If he becomes a better jump shooter, I'll say if he gets... I usually don't like to change. I mean, I know I'm going to change Albert Ellis's go-to shot. That's kind of what I like about players is they just have things that you don't like all the time. I'd maybe change his release. See, I'd allow for a change of his release, but not both his base and his release. Because you could always like change somebody's release to get a quicker release. If his 3-pointer goes up to B. All right, Bozo. Happy to have you here. Thanks for chilling for this stream. If he ends up getting up to a B3, which all he needs, because I feel like B's at the point where you get to B, that's a pretty solid shooter. We'll go to the Sandro release, which will help it out a bit. Just quicken it up a little bit because that Karl Malone's pretty terrible. That'd probably be the. I don't want him to go from like terrible to like super good, but we could change his release probably to a decent release. All right, guys. That's all I've got here for this stream. Talked a lot about the Blizzard. We talked a lot about other things as well. Thank you all for being here. We will finish off this Golden State series likely on Saturday. I think the plan. Let me get this back on real quick. It's going to take a second, but the plan is to do Browns playoffs tomorrow, and then we'll finish up the Golden State series on Saturday, and we'll figure out if we make it to the conference finals and who we might play. Because right now that Houston-San Antonio series is looking pretty good. Maybe if this goes to 7, we might even watch Game 7 of this Not like the full game, but we might watch part of Game 7 of this series if it goes that far, because I think that could be fun to get a little bit of a preview of our potential Western Conference Finals opponents. That will be coming Saturday. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for those who participated in the chat. We had a really awesome chat today. Thank you, guys. You guys always have a good chat, but in this stream, it was really, really fun to chat with y'all. And we'll be back with a video tomorrow and with another stream on Saturday. Until then, bring the Blizzard. Let's finish off the